Hi, I'm Lou Ann Worley from Rockin Book Reviews, and I'm excited to have Ronda Gibb Hinrichsen here with me today. Rhonda, we were exploring your One Fell Down last time we talked.
Yeah.
And this is such an exciting book. It started out so tragically, but then it went into this really fun, suspense-filled story. And all of your books that I've read so far are standalones. Do you prefer to do standalones?
That's what I have written, but I've actually done a few series with some of my self-publishing things. I like standalones. That's where I kind of think of a story all in one. And so it would be hard if I had planned a standalone and then somebody said, okay, make it a series. That would be hard to do because I've already fixed everything in my mind. But I am not opposed to series. There is value to both kinds of books. So standalones, yeah, you can read it and you can be done, and then you can go on to the next, hopefully the author's next book, and it will be a whole new experience. But series, people get really drawn to characters. They love them. They want to know what's going to happen next to them. So yeah, I like series too.
So in the future, do you think you'll be doing more series?
I really don't know. It's going to depend on my publishers, really. On what they're willing to do and what ideas come to my mind. So we'll just have to see what the future holds.
It's a toss-up. I'm like you. I like series, but when you have so many series going and you have to wait a while for the next one to come out, it's just hard to think, okay, now what happened? So then I have to go grab the book, review it. Oh, well, now I know what's happening. So, but I have enjoyed your standalones. They are fantastic.
Well, thank you.
You have a new one coming up.
I do. It's coming out.
Tell us about it.
It's called Unforgettable. Here's a copy of it. If you can see it, it just came in my mail today.
Okay, it's what called? It's called what?
Unforgettable.
Unforgettable. Okay, the light's kind of hitting it, so it's.
Okay. I don't know if that's helping at all.
There, right there. That's good.
Okay, there you go. It's called Unforgettable. It is a modern day book, however. It does revolve around a historical mystery. So the story is just a quick nutshell of it. A great grandmother, pleased with her granddaughter on her deathbed. Okay, it's a deathbed wish. Sends her great granddaughter to Bavaria, Germany, to find out what happened to her husband. And that's this man right here. And while Haley is there in Bavaria, Germany, she finds love, and she winds up in the clutches of the ruthless gang that ultimately killed her great grandfather. That's kind of a mystery all in itself, because Haley did not know that her grandfather was even killed, and neither did her great grandmother. They just receive a police call because they found the body, kind of a thing, and they thought he was just missing. And so it starts that whole story. Sometimes people like to know what the fun things, maybe some fun little tidbits about the book. And so a couple of the things I thought of were Neuschwanstein Castle. That is the inspiration for the Sleeping Beauty Castle in Disney World and Disneyland, that kind of thing. So that castle is in Bavaria, Germany, and so the characters will take a tour of that castle. And it's also a place where the Nazis had hidden some of the Jewish art that they had stolen, which also takes place in this book. That's kind of the whole thing that's going on, is the hiding and finding of lost art. So that's kind of cool too. And another one of my things about it that I really like is that I've always loved unsung heroes. And Joshua, he's the romantic lead of this story. He is a fireman, so he has rescued people physically, but he's also one of those really kind men that rescues people in a kind of an emotionally quiet way as well. So that, that's something about him that I just really liked. also, as you know, Unforgettable, the song kind of fits Christmas. But this book is not a Christmas book, but it does take place in October, heading into the holidays. There's a little bit of Christmas setting to it, some Christmas songs, a little Christmas gift giving, but it is not necessarily a Christmas book.
So I love the cover.
So
They did a fantastic job on that. So is it fluctuating more or less between historical and modern day, or?
Yeah, it starts out historical because it starts out with the murder of this man. And then the whole rest of the book is modern day, where she's trying to uncover a little bit of uncovering. She's more there to kind of help her grandmother put the whole situation to peace before she dies.
Well, that sounds exciting.
So, yeah.
I noticed in your other book, you also had grandmothers in there. Do you have a special relationship with your grandmother?
Well, in this particular case, it's interesting that you say that. In this case, the character was raised mostly by her great-grandmother because of, I think, a divorce. But in my own family, my mother was raised by her grandmother because of some big things that happened. And so my mother has a real strong feeling towards her grandmother. And so I kind of, developed that through that. So she's my great grandmother. And when I was young, a teenager, there was a time when my great grandmother was needing help in her home, and we lived, I don't know, 6-7 hours away. And at that time, I really wanted to go and help take care of her, but things didn't work out that I could. But I've always had this wishing that I had done it, kind of a thing. So that kind of that feeling kind of creeps into this. So yeah, there is a definite relationship between the character and her great grandmother.
What inspires you to come up with the characters and the stories?
I don't know how to answer that question. I'm just always looking for things. For instance, one thing that's kind of a funny little tidbit about this book is something, and I'm not going to give you many details, but something about the bad guy in this book I picked up from an old episode of Gunsmoke.
Oh, really?
So yeah, you just all kinds of things that interest me, that draw my attention. I think, okay, if that interests me, somebody else is going to be interested in that too. And so I started to kind of gather them, and eventually a story starts to form. So.
Well, that is fantastic. I am so excited to read it.
Thank you.
So, you have a special offer for our listeners, don't you?
Right. Luann is holding a drawing, so I am offering a free copy of Unforgettable. It's a print copy to U.S. and Canadian people who enter the drawing, and whoever wins. I didn't say that very well, but that's the idea. Kindle is not actually available yet, so I don't know the situation there, so that's what I'm offering as a print book for.
That is awesome. Like I said, I'm excited because I've loved your books. I think you're a fantastic writer. Okay, is there anything you would like to say in closing before we tune out?
I don't think so. I just hope everyone loves it.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us today, and we really hope everybody reads Unforgettable, because it sounds like really a fantastic book. And we want to welcome everybody to the world and the universe through books. And we say this and say goodbye. Bye-bye.